Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, we'll update you on two of our community partners, Republic Services and the Las Vegas Aviators. Here to talk about these topics and much more is our Ward 4 City Councilwoman. You know who it is, Francis Allen-Palenske. Welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Riggleman. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's great to see you. You've been in office 4 whole months now.
So far, so good.
5 whole months if I do the math properly. Nice. Going well, you've hit the ground running. A lot to talk about. We're going to do that today. You know Ward 4 really well. It's your stomping ground.
It is.
For those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 4 is located, don't worry, we're going to show you on the map. It's out there in the great northwest area of the city of Las Vegas. If you live in this area or work in this area, then of course you're in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And if you're a resident out there since last December, you have been represented on the city council by Francis Allen-Palenske. One of the things that you have done since you've come into office is to try to highlight some of the community issues, partnerships, what we're doing to work overall in the community to make things better. And as a result, that's why we have our very first guest here, Councilwoman. Happy to introduce him. Everyone, our first segment here, we're joined by Steve Orrico. He's the Community Relations Manager for Republic Services. Steve, welcome to the program. It is great to have you here. Councilwoman and I were talking, you think about it, and I've been here in Las Vegas for a while, and I keep thinking, well, the recycling program is new. It's the new recycling program, but it's all of a sudden 30 years old, Councilwoman.
We're dating ourselves.
Exactly, me as well. And so, Steve, Republic now, how is it going? It's been 30 years of curbside recycling. Hard to believe. How are things going?
It goes fast, but it's going better. Much, much better. In 2015, when we opened up our new recycling center on Commerce and Cheyenne, and we switched from the red, white, and blue buckets to the single stream, what we call single stream, we significantly saw an increase in people recycling residential. Just made it easier for everybody. Then they didn't have to sort it out, so that's what we do. Just put all the recyclables in one container, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Councilwoman, I remember early on, it seemed like trying to get people on board, not everybody seemed to understand the whole concept of recycling, or why do I have to separate my stuff? Why are we doing this? It was maybe a little bit of a hard sell for some at the beginning. We've come a long way since then. Not the case anymore, yeah.
And kids, our children really drive that conversation in the homes.
They really do. Our kids, of course, Mom and I, their mom and I made sure that they were following the rules, but yeah, they did a great job over the years of recycling. So Steve, you gave us a number before the program. How much recycling does the community generate on a daily basis around here?
At our recycling center, we process up to 1,000 tons. We have the capability of processing 1,000 tons per day. That's 2 million pounds. 2 million pounds a day. That's what we're capable of doing. We're a little shy of that right now, which is why we really appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk about some recycling tips, because it's the contamination.
Let's talk about that, Steve. Yeah,
that slows down the process.
And contamination, you mean you got an old bottle of ketchup or whatever it might, mustard, got to be plastic or glass too, truthfully.
Right.
But you don't want to just leave all that residue in there, right?
Correct, Dave. So we call it empty, clean, and dry. And the reason is everything that, once it gets separated and starts going through the process, and the plastic goes one way, glass goes one way, cardboard goes the other way, but it's all done with fiber optics. It's one of the smartest recycling plants in the world.
Did you know that, Councilwoman?
I did not know that.
I did not either.
So, and everything is gauged and calculated. So when a light hits it, and if it's got ketchup in there, or if it's a bottle, something like that, it will identify that and it'll kick it out. Same thing with the weight, like with water. If you think, well, it's just water, it's just this much, that actually changes the weight of that product, of that item. And our recycle center is so smart, it says, well, that's not a plastic bottle. It can't be. It's too heavy.
And obviously, you don't want that stuff to have to go to the landfill. The idea is to have it all recycled.
Correct.
And Steve, people sometimes will say, oh, the recycling stuff, it all ends up in the landfill anyway. Not true.
I've heard two things. I'll tell you both of them. So yes, we don't recycle. Republic Services really does recycle. I encourage them to go to our website and then set up a tour, and then they'll see our recycling. But the other thing as well is if it goes in the trash, we do not take the recyclables out of the trash. If you put something that is recyclable, clear plastic bottle, and you throw it in the trash, it's going to the landfill. Yeah. Conversely, a lot of people think that, well, if you put it in the trash and the recycle, then it's not going to go anywhere but to landfill as well. And that's true, and that's the issue we're having, because if you put trash in the recycle, when we take it to our recycle center, we dump it all out on the floor and start to process it, we try to do as much as we can to remove that trash, and that's what slows the process down.
Gotcha. Councilwoman, too, you were talking about just because there's a recycling symbol on the bottom of something doesn't necessarily mean it's recyclable. There's something. Let's talk about that a little bit. You had a really good question before we went on the air about that.
The numbers. I'm not sure that everybody understands the numbers on the bottom of plastic jars and containers.
So plastic, we process number 1, number 2, and number 5.
1, 2, and 5.
1, 2, and 5 are the plastics. So 1 is like the clear plastic bottles that you see, the water bottles. 2 would be like the milk jugs, the high density. And 5s would be things like yogurt containers or butter tubs, but the ones that are actually plastic. If something is coated, then that is not recyclable. Because what we do is we sort, we don't separate, and that's considered a multi-material product. So 1, 2, and 5s, and to your point, just because something has that recycling emblem on the bottom doesn't necessarily mean it's recyclable. It could mean that it was made from recyclable product. And so we have what we call end of life. So when things get to their end of life, this is like the last stop. Like tissue is a great example. That's the last place for fiber to go.
Right. Steve, we know that obviously paper, plastics with 1, 2, and 5, glass, those are things that can be recycled, obviously. With paper, newspaper, newsprint is fine.
Pizza box.
Pizza box.
Oh, let's talk about that. That's a hot topic. That's a hot topic. Okay, so question, is a pizza box recyclable, yes or no?
Well,
yes.
I know. I'm going to say.
It's kind of a trick question.
I'm going to say. I'm going to go with the councilwoman. But you know what? Because here's why I know. Because one of the pizza companies that we use, you can tear the top off. So if the top is okay, if the top is off, if the top is not got grease and pizza on it, you can recycle it. But at the bottom that had the pizza on it, got to be thrown away.
What if it was veggie pizza?
Unless a veggie pizza.
It wasn't greasy.
Exactly. Councilwoman's always thinking.
No, but that is such a significant tip right there, David. I'm so happy to hear that you are aware of that, because that's part of what we're trying to get the message across. So we did some calculations, 2.6 million people in Las Vegas, cut it in half because of families, cut in half again, 500,000. Let's just call the number 500,000 families. They order pizza once a month on average, right? That's 500,000 pizza boxes twice a month. So 500,000 pizza boxes.
Truth.
So think about that. If you're not tearing it off and you're throwing the whole thing into the recycle,
a lot going to the landfill.
That's contamination. And then conversely, right, if you're thinking, well, because it's greasy, you can't recycle it, so you're throwing it into the trash, like you had said, Dave, that's a lot going into the landfill. So tear the top off.
Yeah, and that's, and like I say, one company in particular that we use, it makes it easy because it's perforated. You can just tear it right off. And
love that.
Steve, what about paper? I've heard the thing, if you can put your finger through it, it's probably not going to be able to be recycled. Or is there any rule? Am I off base on that?
I think you might be thinking about plastic.
Okay.
Because plastic, if it's filmy or stretchy, or you could tear it, then that's not recyclable.
Yeah, gotcha.
For paper, pretty much any paper is recyclable.
Okay, excellent.
So that's a good
newspaper,
point.
Even old, just like scripts
Stuff
like this, could be recycled easily.
Envelopes, and if you have the envelopes with the plastic window, that's okay, because when that gets to where it's going to go, and they melted all that down, so like that, the plastic will go to the top. Now, on paper with books, so Paperback books are recyclable. Hardback books, if you tear the hardback off, then you're separating it, and then that's they're both recyclable.
Good to know. Steve, we're about out of time for your segment here. Any last tips you want to make sure that that the audience hears? This is all good stuff.
Clean, dry, and empty, please.
Okay.
You don't have to waste a lot of water, right? Especially with everything that's going on, even though residential gets recycled.
Right.
It does.
Just clean out a little bit. Keep the lids on plastic bottles.
Okay.
Don't crush the plastic bottles. Like a lot of people, they'll take the lid off and they'll scrunch it down.
Yeah.
Because again, that changes the configure of it. And same thing with aluminum cans. Don't crush your aluminum cans, because when those get processed through, it changes the configure of it.
Steve, I'm learning something every day here.
That's very
because
contrary to what most people believe.
Because a lot of times people will crush this to make room in their
They wanna
bin.
make more room.
Yeah.
And then the last one, if I may, don't put one commodity inside the other.
Okay.
For example,
okay.
don't put a aluminum can inside a cardboard box
Yeah.
and then throw it in your recycled container.
Okay, sorry everybody, I'm guilty. So I'll just put it on. Yeah, won't do that anymore, Steve. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to keep everything separated.
We'll be checking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Great discussion, Steve. Thanks so much, Steve Orrico from Republic Services. Thanks so much for being here. Great discussion. Great idea to bring him on. We both learned a lot here today. So.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yes.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you so much. Folks, we need to take a short break here, but when we return, we're going to hear from Erik Eisenberg, who's the Vice President of Ticket Sales for the Las Vegas Aviators. He's next, so please stay with us.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back, everyone. For our second segment, Erik Eisenberg, a vice president with the Las Vegas Aviators, is here to talk about the team's economic impact and much more in our community. Councilwoman, I know you are a baseball mom and fan, and we're excited to have you with us, Erik. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Baseball season.
It's here.
It is. It's exciting.
And Erik, everybody that's been to an Aviators game, it's just like the best. That ballpark's awesome. The whole experience. You got just the whole beautiful scene out there. What a great place to see a baseball game.
Yeah, we basically took the stadium and put it right in the heart of our target demographic. It's in a perfect part of town, right next to downtown Summerlin. So you can kind of eat, drink, go out to dinner before the game, come to the game, enjoy that, and then go back out and have fun afterwards.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So you got the Aviator. He's you don't have one mascot, Councilwoman.
Yeah.
We've got two, right?
We got two.
I got the Aviator, and we got Spruce, the goose. Yeah.
Spruce the goose, but my son calls him a duck.
I can see why.
Yeah, not a duck, a goose. But Erik, I got to ask you this too. People have always said, "Oh, it's AAA baseball's not. It's not the major leagues. We're not quite there yet." But the economic impact. You go out to a game, Councilwoman. You and I have had the same experience. It's packed. People are buying concessions. They're buying merchandise. It's got to have an impact on our community in a positive way.
100%. It's not quite the economic impact that Major League has because they have a lot more games,
Right.
a lot more fans coming to the ballpark, but it's huge for the community. I mean, and also the amount of money we get to give back to the community in terms of our foundation.
For sure.
And other stuff like that.
Erik, for people that aren't maybe completely familiar with how baseball works, AAA team, the Aviators are a AAA team. You're the farm club for the
Oakland A's.
The Oakland A's. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And that's one step below the big leagues.
Yeah, one step below the majors. There's actually four levels of minor league baseball: low A, single A, double A, and then triple A.
Yeah. And so the guys that are on the Aviators, Councilwoman, you and I were talking about this. These guys are like they're on the precipice of going to the big time.
Yeah, they're right there. I mean, and plus all the opposing players that we get in town. I mean, last week we had Joe Adell come from the Salt Lake Bees, played for the Anaheim Angels last year. But it's just a fine line. I mean, sometimes if a guy can't hit a curveball, once he goes up and shows that in the big leagues, he's coming back down.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, if they show they can hit at our level, then usually it translates to the major leagues.
It's exciting when you see that too, Councilwoman. You see a guy from
Our team,
from the Aviators end up getting called up to the A's. And it's like, oh my God, I
just saw that guy last Friday.
That guy. Yeah, so it's good stuff. Erik, what kind of reception has the community given the team?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, the amount of stuff that our name travels throughout the community. I mean, we have a lot of great. We do a lot of great stuff in the community with our Aviators Foundation. We just donated a bunch of money to District 2 Little League, District 4 Little League, Northwest Girls Softball. So we've had a lot of great things that happened in the last couple months.
You know, Councilwoman, you'll recall this. You and I've been here a while. There was a time where people would say, "Oh, Las Vegas can't support Major League sports." You know, council member hearing this, it's like, oh,
years, decades.
There's no way you're going to be able to support.
We're not a sports community.
Exactly. There's no way you're going to support a Major League team, one, let alone more. Well, now here we are. We've got NFL, we've got NHL, we've got WNBA. We're going to talk about, we may be on the precipice of getting MLB as well. Does the community support you guys?
Oh yeah, I would say Vegas is like maybe the #1 sports town.
Yeah,
agreed.
I mean, just in the last 5 years, we've added professional lacrosse, minor league hockey,
right?
Minor league soccer. I mean, there's just been so many things that have been added to the community. Gives everybody an outlet to go do different sports.
Why do you think that has been the case when early on nobody would believe that it would be?
Well, I think that gambling had a big issue with the professional sports. I mean, I think gambling was a big negative, and now gambling is the status quo. Like everybody gambles. Every state has legalized gambling, so that
it doesn't have the stigma that it did.
There's no more gambling stigma, and now it's exploded. I mean, and it's huge in the NFL. It's huge for baseball, basketball, hockey. Yeah. I mean, it got rid of all that.
Well, we were talking about the A's, and it's very timely because now we're hearing maybe that the Oakland A's potentially are going to move to Las Vegas. They bought a property on West Trop, so obviously they're very serious. The question a lot of people are going to have is, well, what will happen to the Aviators? Will they go away? Will the Aviators stay? What will happen, Eric? I mean, that beautiful ballpark. Could the A's play out there? It could be modified. Doesn't sound like that's going to be a possibility.
The stadium cannot be modified to host a long-standing major league team, but it could be a house for a couple years. The stadium down in Tropicana, the Golden Knights and the Silver Knights coexist in the same city. There's a couple AAA teams that coexist in with their major league affiliate.
Exactly.
Sugarland in Texas, St. Paul Saints in Minneapolis and Minnesota. So it is possible. It would be challenging, but it would be able to work.
Yeah, and then Eric, explain a little bit too the difference with the Knights and the Silver Knights. They're owned by the same company. Different case for baseball, though.
Yeah, so we're owned by the Howard Hughes Corporation. So we would technically be competing for the same entertainment dollars that the A's would be competing for. So it would cause maybe a little conflict of interest with two teams in the same city. So now if the A's bought the team, then that's a different story. But currently, I mean, we're all coexisting in the same city, or we would be coexisting in the same city, competing for the same dollars.
I think too, Councilwoman, there's from an economic standpoint, obviously AAA, the next level down, is just a lot more affordable. If you've got a big family, you want to take everybody to the game, it's going to be a lot more affordable than trying to go consistently to the big leagues all the time. So
yeah, I think at the AAA level, the average cost of a family to attend a game is around $70. If you take that to the major league level, you're looking at over $200.
Right.
So it's a big difference.
That's not counting the merchandise.
Not counting the merchandise.
Not counting the merchandise as well.
And it only counts for one beer.
right.
One beer, one hot dog.
Yeah.
Eric, tell us some things about a lot of us think we know the team well and the whole situation with the Aviators. Tell us some things that our viewers out there would probably say, I never knew that. Yeah, exactly.
We have a lot of we do promotions almost every single night. So next Saturday, April 29th, we have Star Wars night. So we'll have about 60 Star Wars characters dressed in full movie quality gear coming out to the game, and have the stormtroopers escort you into the stadium. That's a fun thing. We have our Bat Dog, which
Councilwoman, that's her favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to love the Bat Dog.
Yeah.
Finn is actually retiring, so we have a new Bat Dog.
There's an understudy. There's someone on the bench that's
there's an understudy,
up.
and then there's an understudy of the understudy. So we got plenty of dogs in the stable.
Is there a specific trainer that trains a bat dog out there? Somebody, you said go to puppy school, and they say, oh, this is Bat Dog school. This is what we're doing.
It's a company we've worked with for like 10, 15 years. It's Sit Means Sit.
Oh, yeah, great company.
Yeah, great company, and they've done a great job, and that dog is phenomenal.
Exactly.
Really
Never misses a beat, so it's good stuff. What else?
What else we got going? We got First Responders Night.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, First
Thank
Responders
you.
Night coming up May 30th. Just to help kind of get because the first responders do so much in the community. So we're offering a commemorative coin for all
Challenge
first
coin.
responders that buy a ticket, and we're going to donate some tickets to all the first responders in town too.
Councilwoman's husband's a retired Las Vegas fire captain,
Great.
so near and dear to her. So
And
Your invite goes out to police, I believe, fire, public safety, and nurses too?
nurses and
EMTs.
EMTs. Yeah. And Medic West is a sponsor of ours, so the night's sponsored by Medic West. So it's gonna be a great night.
sounds good. That's coming up this summer. Eric, people want to come to the game. What's the best thing to do? To go buy tickets online? Is it where can they get more information?
Best thing is to go to our website, aviatorslv.com.
Yeah, get the details are all there. And how's the team doing this year?
We started out slow. We started out 2-10, but we've won our last 5 games. So
there you go.
So we're making a run.
There you go.
Yeah. And there's playoffs this year, and the Aviators actually hosting the AAA National Championship game at the end of the season.
Very good. Very good.
No better.
Season's a little shorter for AAA, right?
Yeah, we play 150 games. Major League plays 162, so a little shorter, but it runs maybe like a week shorter than the major leagues.
Yeah, good stuff, and plenty of opportunities. How many teams are in the league with the Aviators?
Well, there's 30 major league teams. We have 30 teams in AAA, 10 in our league.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. And our rival is Reno.
Rivals Reno.
Yeah,
of course.
So, blue.
North versus south.
right, exactly. Good stuff. Well, Eric, it's a pleasure having you on the program.
Okay.
Give you the final word. We got about a minute left in the segment. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just if you have any additional information, come out to the game. We love having all the fans. There's something new for everybody to come out. There's $2 beer nights, fireworks, giveaway nights, jerseys. So there's something going on every single night of the week.
Yeah, and it's just been phenomenal to see, as we were speaking, how this community embraces sports of all types at all levels. It's amazing. So
It's only getting better.
Yep. Councilwoman, as you predicted. So. All right, well, Eric, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate you being with us. And folks, we need to take another short break, but when we return, the Councilwoman and I will discuss some upcoming events and also her latest Citizen of the Month. You'll want to hear about that as well. Stay with us.
76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
Welcome back once again, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Councilwoman Palenske and I are now going to tell you about some upcoming events that she has in the ward that are very cool. Councilwoman, little movie in the park action coming up on May 12th. It's a movie nobody's really heard of or seen, I don't think. It's Top Gun Maverick, everyone, of course.
Right.
Huge box office success. This movie, it just seems to appeal to any generation. From those of us who remember the original Top Gun to this new movie, they do a great job of connecting all the dots from the first movie to this one. So May 12th out at
Centennial Hills.
Centennial Hills. Oh, perfect there. You got the
Beautiful.
amphitheater there on the grass. There it is right there. Yeah, Centennial Hills Park. Sorry, everybody. They're on Buffalo at Warm Springs. And, you know, Councilwoman, the best part of this is that it's free, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun, food trucks. We're going to have Star Spangled Banner. We're going to have some surprises. Can't tell you everything, but really a lot of veteran appreciation. Focus there.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And it'll be right before Memorial Day, a couple
Correct.
weeks before Memorial Day. And Councilwoman, dusk, right? About the time the sun's
Correct.
going down is when we're
Correct.
going to kick everything off. Yeah.
And we've got some active duty members of the military going to show up in their flight
Outstanding.
suits. So
Oh,
kids,
outstanding.
Instagram pics. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I love it. You know, that movie, you think that a lot of these scenes in there, oh, they must have done that in the studio. The actors are really in jets flying around.
And we always hear, you know, sequels never as good as the first. This one, this was hot competition for the first.
It really was, and it was what, 40 years in the making almost.
Yes.
But it was well worth the wait. It was great stuff. So. Top Gun Maverick, May 12th, Centennial Hills Park. Come on out. Again, these events are free for the public. And then, Councilwoman, hard to believe, but the city has another birthday coming up,
I know,
May 13th.
it's exciting. Happy birthday, Las Vegas.
I know. Helldorado Parade. You're going to be in it this year.
Yes, in a horse and carriage.
Horse and carriage. Now, the Councilwoman is new to the council, but she's breaking tradition because they usually ride on the fire truck, Big Red, our vintage fire truck, but she's going to do horse and carriage. Come on out and see this, everybody. It's going to be Saturday, May 13th. Starts at 10 along 4th Street. That's the 4th Street parade route. And the city's going to be 118 years old that day. Hard to believe.
Hopefully we have a cake.
That'd be a lot of candles on there, you know. Need some firefighters around just to make sure that
Safety first.
The wind comes up or something like that. Councilwoman, this will be your first Helldorado Parade that you've been in, right?
Correct,
wow.
correct.
Congratulations.
I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
We usually get great weather out there. Again, that event free to the public. Come on out, line up along 4th Street. It's a great event because you got local bands, you got a little bit of everything in the parade, and just a great way to get out and celebrate the city's what will be this time 118th birthday. So, of course, founded on May 15th, 1905 is the official birthday of the city. So. Looking forward to see you in the parade.
Wear your Western gear.
Exactly, that's part of the deal. That was the tradition with Helldorado, was kind of to celebrate Western days when the Hoover Dam was built, to get folks to come over from the dam and to come into Las Vegas, and it's been sticking around ever since. So.
We had a steady stream.
Exactly, good stuff. And then last but not least, Councilwoman, I want to mention this. You recently were able to select our Citizen of the Month. The council members rotate every 7th month. It's their turn. You honored Janalee DeJean, and Janalee is someone who many of us have known in the community for many, many years. She is a chaplain at the city jail and a special person, isn't she, Councilwoman?
Yeah, the last 26 years she has been ministering and guiding the folks, the inmates in our jail, and she's done a remarkably beautiful job, uncompensated, really unrewarded in any way. So I always look for that person that really has moved the needle and made a difference for our community, and she's definitely top of the list.
One of the gentlemen she was talking to, that's Chief Potts, Jason Potts from our Department of Public Safety. One of the gentlemen she was talking to prior to that was John Ponder, who runs an organization called Hope for Prisoners, and because of Janalee, John was able to turn his life around, and then look at what an amazing person he's been to help so many others. So by her helping him, he's now it's phenomenal to see. So.
Touched so many lives.
Well, good for you, Councilwoman. Great decision on honoring Janalee. That took place back at our council meeting in April. Councilwoman, the time always flies.
It sure does. Always fun.
Yeah,
with you,
vice
Mr.
versa.
Rickleman.
Good to have you here. Folks, we want to tell you out there, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Palenske, you can find her on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact her by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send her an email. Her address is fpalenske@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she's one of her great staff. We'll get right back to you and take care of whatever concern you have. So, Councilwoman, great job. Good to have you on.
Thank
You're a veteran now of Access City Council, and we'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 4, and looking forward already. So,
absolutely.
Good to see you. Thanks so much. And folks, don't miss our next show beginning on May 4th with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire now. Also, watch for our QR code after this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.